Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this amazing book launch for Miss Chellie Phillips. This book of hers tonight is going to be just something that's going to blow you away. You can see by our incredible people here what they are connecting with. We've got Miss Sandy, we've got Doug, we've got, of course, our amazing author, Chellie Phillips, and this is an exciting time for her because she has put out a book that is so timely, that is going to be just incredible, and we can't wait to share it all with you. Look at that. We see people popping on here, and we are just thrilled to see how they're all doing, how they're coming on. Give us loud shout-outs from where you are broadcasting from. I'm down here in Texas. Sandy, where are you broadcasting from?
I'm here in Florida, Central Florida.
And Doug, where are you broadcasting from?
Lincoln, Nebraska. Right in the middle of the country. So that was good. I like that.
Thanks. And of course, our star for the evening, Miss Chellie Phillips. Where are you broadcasting from this evening?
I'm about 45 minutes south of Atlanta.
In Miss Georgia, that Georgia peach is right there with us tonight. We are so excited for this entire thing. You can see behind her what's happening tonight. You can see running down on the ticker. And I think Doug has a copy and Sandy has a copy. And check this out. I'm telling you what, Chellie brings on people with great testimonials talking about how Get Noticed, Get Hired worked for them, worked for their kids. And that's why we're here this evening. And we've got people popping in here. Hey, Jeannie, it's great to see you. Hello, hello. Thank you for popping in and letting us know that you're from Virginia. Awesome, awesome. So everyone else, go ahead and take that time to pop in and show us how we're all connected here together. All right, Sandy and Doug, I'm going to tuck you guys down and away, and we are going to get this thing launched. Here we go. All right, Miss Chellie, I think it's a great idea to start with your book trailer to kind of get everything pumped up and get everything rolling. All right, I'm going to hit this loud and proud. Here we go.
All right.
Amazing. Okay, I know I was dancing and rocking out with that. Miss Chellie, are you closet rock star?
I might be an 80s child, I mean, you just kind of got that hairband thing going and just really love a little bit of good rock and roll in life.
That's right. I mean, I help a lot of students with a lot of interviews, and I'm telling you what, if they came into the room with that much pizzazz, then I would be like, yeah, hired. I mean, that would be fantastic. So it looks like those are some of the topics that we're going to be talking about tonight. So this is pretty exciting. Now, everyone out there, I want you to know that Chellie is an award-winning author. She is a best-selling author. And Chellie, how does that make you feel?
I mean, it's a little bit surreal. I mean, I remember as a child wanting to be a writer. And, I had a friend of mine when we were growing up that we used to actually, she was the artist, I was the writer. So we would make our own little storybooks and stuff like that. And so for it to come full circle and it actually be, oh my gosh, these are my books getting published and people are reading. It's really surreal that, you think back from a time that you were 7, 8 years old till now. We're not going to talk about age at the moment, but, several years have passed in between and it's a for real thing now. It's just kind of, it's hard to wrap your mind around sometimes, but it is so fun.
It is amazing. It is just exciting. And now as this writer, you've put something together called Get Noticed and Get Hired. So what in the world is all this about?
Well, Get Noticed, Get Hired is truly what I call my passion project. I got to give you a little background for you to know why this one means so much to me. So before I moved to Atlanta, I was in Alabama, grew up there, spent my life there, went to school there, and I was in a sorority. And after I graduated, went to work, that kind of thing, as an adult, I got to go back and work as a mentor with this group of women that were on this college campus. And so I spent 14 years working with the officers, basically. So these are your real go-getters. These are your, I've got things figured out. I'm a good leader. And the thing that used to just really bother me was they'd spend all this time in school, get their degree, walk across the stage, get that diploma, and then they couldn't find a job in their field. And, you know, especially with women, I don't know if you know this, but like 2 days ago was what they call Women's Equal Pay Day. So what that really means is that women had to work all the way until this day of the year to make what men made last year. And what's even worse is if you don't start out in your field, like when you graduate from college and you take a job, maybe say retail or a barista or something like that, just to get you through, and someone else gets put in a job in their field, when you get hired into that field, if you're lucky enough to, you're going to stay behind pay-wise for the rest of your career time because they look at it as this other person came in more qualified. You came in as someone with retail experience who couldn't get the job to begin with. And it just puts you that much farther behind throughout your career. And so after I'd worked with these women and seen it and felt their frustration and everything, then I had my own bout with it. I was over 40 and decided that I needed to make a career pivot. And what I learned then was that how I searched for a job back in my 20s was not going to work anymore. And so this book came from learning all the things that I needed to do better, and in turn showed them how to do better. And we saw huge results from basically working on our brand. Now, my background is in PR and marketing. And so it seems like that should be a natural fit, but the two never crossed minds with me to begin with, because you're not taught how to find a job in school. You're taught, you know, do a resume, put what your skills are, put, you know, your job titles, put your education on there. But what you really need to do is learn how to sell yourself. What is your worth to that company? So it's almost like you're creating a campaign for yourself, just like when my PR world, we create a campaign for products and services and that kind of thing. So by switching to that thinking, it's made a huge difference in the people that have been able to implement this successfully ever after.
You're back with us, Miss Chellie?
Yeah, I'm here.
She's here. She's here. So that success has been, I love how you say that we have to sell ourselves and that the skill sets for that are really important because we have incredible skills. And we see in school systems, through college, through so many different ways, talents, skills, abilities that are out there. And the sad part is like you said, teaching how to sell yourself and do that marketing for yourself is not really a school-bound taught learned thing. Now, you might pick things up on your own. I mean, they're very savvy, right, with the TikTok and with all those kinds of things, which in a sense they are selling. They are selling themselves in the fun and entertainment world and those kinds of things. You just have to apply those skills here to the workplace, to the work base, to whatever it is that you want to get out there with. It's that same thing. You build things up, you build your teams, your groups, and you punch it out there, because when you are, you know, presented in a manner like that, the whole world can shift because the companies see what you're going to be able to add to all of them. And that, wow, it is phenomenal. So, you know, what will be the benefit as somebody going through and reading this book, or because tonight is a very special night, it is the audiobook version of this tonight. So there's no excuses. Everyone who's commuting out there, you've got other tasks to do. This one you can plug on in and keep things rolling, which is fantastic and so exciting. So tell me a little bit about what the benefits will be when people are going through this book.
So really and truly, it walks you through an entire job search, whether you're right out of college or whether you're unhappy where you're at now and you're looking like, I need to make a change. And so whether it's your first time job seeker or whether you're a seasoned worker and you're looking for your next career step, this book walks you through how to prepare for that in a way that gets you noticed and hired by the job that you want to be in. We basically start at the beginning. What is a personal brand? Why do you need one? And how do you build one? You mentioned TikTok and some of these other things. And yeah, we all have a personal brand, whether you know it or not. If you've ever posted anything online, guess what? You've got a brand, whether you were being intentional about it or not. And that's one of the things that we talk about in the book, or you can listen to in the new version, is making sure that you're intentional about what you're putting out there so that it represents who you are in a way that somebody wants you to come work for them. Now, I'm not saying that means take away all the fun, because, that's part of you too. And employers want to see that. They want to see that you're a well-rounded person. So having that out there and knowing the importance of branding and how to build one of those successfully, once you get that skill down, then you translate that into putting together a resume. That resume, I don't know if you know this or not, but on average, a recruiter or a hiring manager spends about 7 seconds looking at your resume.
Okay, hang on. 7 seconds. I'm gonna count that
Yes, it's
out.
really disheartening, isn't it?
I'm almost there. And we're done.
Yeah. So you know everything you need to know about that candidate right there, right? I mean, you can remember it. You nailed down what you need to know. And so, but what they're turning to is they're looking at your LinkedIn, they're Googling you, finding you. And if what they saw there doesn't match and catch their eye with what you have on paper in that amount of time, your resume goes into the trash. Unfortunately, it doesn't get moved to that, let's call an interview stack. And that's the goal of this, is getting you interviewed and getting you in front of the people where you want to work. So we walk through the resume and we walk through cover letters, how to make one entertaining, engaging, interesting, so that you do catch that attention. It's all about getting noticed and getting noticed for the right reasons. And then once you get that interview, then we're going to talk through the how to interview effectively. We've got some of the top 10 questions that get answered or asked, and teach you how to answer them so that you stand out from all the other people that are coming through there. And then finally, we wrap up the book with, now, once you got the job, how do you make sure you keep it, and how do you become that rising star that the supervisor just can't live without and sets you on that path to promotion?
Wow. Okay. That was, I should have had my pen going. I mean, amazing how many things are really going to be happening for you as a benefit in this book. I am ready. That's jazzed me all up to give away the very first prize of the night before we bring in our guest, Miss Sandy. So, Chellie, you are giving away one free copy of the audio version. Is that right?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to drop the link down here. Right, we're going to drop it down. Who is going to be our winner? Okay, I'm on the Facebook scrolling through to see who everybody is, where everybody's coming in from, and I'm going to pull this out, and let's see who is going to be our first grand winner. All right. It is, who should I pick? I don't know. Should I hold on to it? Should I hold on to it till a little later? I don't know. I don't see anyone putting down their pick me. What are we going to do? Let's see who's going to be a part of this. I think our winner is
Who can tell you how many seconds they have to catch someone's attention?
Look at that, teacher. Look at that right there. Doug knows the answer. Doug, put your hands down. Oh, no one can see you. Okay, that's all right. It's all good. Okay, let's get this loud and proud out there for the next person that's going to be popping on. Let's see. I can see him here. They're going in. Okay, I'm having trouble with pulling up some other people. Let's see. Oh, Jeannie. Jeannie says 7 seconds. Okay, Jeannie. This audiobook, I mean, get it out there. Get it loud and proud. I'm going to write your name down, honey. We're going to get that to you. Awesome. Okay, there it is. It is up and going. And with that being said, let's have Miss Sandy come on up. And come on in. Hello, Miss Sandy. It is so great to see you.
Thank you. I am honored to be here. I'm really excited about Chellie's new book, especially coming on an audio because I spend a lot of time in my car.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
And most of my clients do too. Everything that I do, much of it fits right along with what Chellie does. And busy moms, busy parents, busy kids, busy college students, they don't have a lot of time to sit and read a book. But as they're walking to class or as they're sitting in their car, this is the perfect way for them to get the information that they need.
Agreed. I couldn't have said it better myself. So as you can see here, we've got Miss Sandy. And Sandy, tell us a little bit about your book and how all this works together with Chellie.
Yes. My name is Sandy Brantley. They call me the Duck Wrangler. And yes, I wrote a book called Get the Duck Out of My Pond, How to Start a Business. If I can even remember my own book title, Start a Business with Your Teen, Build Their Confidence, and Launch Them Successfully into Adulthood. I am committed to helping our next generation launch successfully into adulthood. We have an epidemic in this country of our kids not being able to make the transition from childhood to adulthood well. And so I am all about helping really encourage and get our parents and teachers and family all involved in helping really get a child ready with the skills that they can use day one once they get into adulthood. And the biggest piece, or one of the big pieces, is exactly what Chellie is helping with. And that is getting them noticed so they can get their first job, whether that is post-high school or post-college. It's really important that they can get out there, get noticed by those people who are doing the hiring to get that job.
Excellent.
That
Sandy,
is so
that seems
true.
like it matches. Right. So
Yeah.
Chellie and Sandy, discuss how, both of you guys can really, support each other within all of this realm of your book.
So even, like just past summer, I guess it was this past summer anyway, a couple of months ago, Sandy held a summit that was for parents, and it was talking about successfully launching their kids, and it dealt with all different kinds of topics. And one of the things that we discussed is the fact that this personal branding can actually start in high school, and it's not something that they need to wait for until they get to college to be able to start building that brand. That as long as they're going to, they can even start using it in high school to work towards scholarships and things like that. And they can build that brand as they're growing. And then it really works.
Yes. And they are actually building a brand whether they want to or not. So that is something we need to be telling our kids now. Be careful what you put out there, because your future employer will do a search on social media for you. And if they don't like what they see, you won't even get that first look into what your skills are. You may have checked all their boxes and have all the experience and all the know-how, but they won't look at you because of something that they look at negatively in your social media accounts. So be very, very careful. And that is something we need to be teaching our kids early on so that they don't have to, once they get into Chellie's program and they don't have to go back and remove all those things. Because, once it's out there, and you can't be sure that it's gone for permanently once you've posted it out there. So I know Chellie is very big on teaching to go out and scrub your accounts, but it's better if you just don't put it out there in the first place.
Absolutely. Cleanup is always worse than starting it out right the very first way.
Exactly.
And then the other thing that's really interesting is parents can talk to their, if you talk about work and you talk about office culture and you talk about those kind of things at home, the kid is more prepared once they hit the workforce. A lot of parents don't talk about their job. I mean, they may talk about what they do, but they don't talk about what it's like to go to work every day. Kids a lot of times will hear, oh, it was a hassle. Oh, the commute. Oh, that. Not hearing the things that really matter about, hey, surrounding yourself with positive coworkers is a great thing, or, making sure that you're doing your work diligently and on time and that kind of thing. And those are discussions that parents can already be having with their kids early on in life that can really make a difference and plant that seed.
Everything from having a good work ethic, showing up early rather than showing up on time, or God forbid late. Those are all things that we forget that we should be teaching our kids, because we are all so, and it's not because we don't want them to succeed, right? It's because we are so busy in the day to day, right? I mean, right now is a little strange time, but we are busy taking them to all their activities or to school or trying to get from here to there, that we forget that we are responsible to make sure they know these things. Just like the idea of being early as opposed to being late. And just what Chelly's saying, what you do say and what you don't say to your employer or in the workplace, all of those things are critical to their success.
Agreed. That important part of where you can really get that part noticed, and the crucial things that we have for those skill sets, you want people to be able to see, to notice, and like for you, Sandy, get out of the pond, right?
Exactly. Well, isn't that our goal? Our goal is to get our kids out there. Yes, to get them out of our houses, of course. That's one step. But to get them out there and know that they are going to be successful in the community, right? They're going to learn to give back to their communities. They're going to learn to be good citizens in the workplace. And that starts by teaching them in the home.
Right. So, Chellie, how would you support that with your book? What way, what skills, what things are taught within your book that helps to support that?
Well, we have in there like a lot of ways to have conversations. So, especially with the branding, like starting early about what things are positive to post and how you can take that image. But Sandy, I don't know if it's okay with you. I think one of the best ways we can demonstrate that is to talk about your own daughter, Sammy.
Yes.
You believed in the program enough to have her take part in it.
Yes.
And we're actually lucky enough to have her own words to share.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm so excited. I haven't even seen the video yet, but I'm excited to hear what she has to say. Yes, Chellie and I were fortunate enough to meet a few years ago. And when I heard what she was doing, I thought it was the perfect match for my child. Samantha was, I think at the time, going into her senior year. She's a 2020 graduate. So she graduated in the middle of this COVID thing. And when she graduated, she found that the job she had ready for her was gone. They had decided not to hire anybody new, so she didn't know what she was going to do. So she had to go back and rethink, how am I going to be competitive in this market? And it was just the perfect thing, because she had already started working with Chellie and started reading both Chellie's book and going through her program. And Chellie helped her to tweak her messaging. She tweak her resume so that she could be competitive, because in this world right now, kids coming straight out of high school and straight out of college are competing against people who have years and years of experience. And so that's hard to compete with for the same entry-level jobs. So what Samantha was able to do was to believe it or not, they even mention it, the hiring manager of the job she is about to start. I'm really excited, her first professional position. But the job she's about to start actually was, he even mentioned her resume and said he had to meet her because no one had ever done what she did on her resume. So it was pretty exciting. She was excited to get that message and to actually get that position.
Fantastic. So it looks like all of the things that she was taught worked, and they were excited to see it. I mean, that's incredible right there. What a great testimonial. So let's hear from Sammy herself. We're going to play a little video so that you all can hear it out there. Please continue to like, comment, and share all of this, and let's get this rocking and rolling.
Hello, my name's Samantha Brantley. I am a recent college graduate, and I am going into the work field. I want to thank Chellie for asking me to be here. I'm so excited to talk to you guys. So Chellie actually asked me to be on here because I have recently been through the job struggle that is out there right now. So a little bit about me. I graduated from the University of Central Florida with my communications degree in May of 2020, which I know was absolutely the best time to graduate, right? So I graduated and I actually had a job lined up. I was supposed to be moving to Texas for a sales position in August. And unfortunately, due to COVID, a couple months after I graduated, I basically got a call that my position with that company no longer existed. And then I was back at square one. And the job market was much easier when I got that job than it was mid-COVID. And all of a sudden, I was sending out 10 to 12 applications a day trying to get a new professional job right out of college. And I was thrown for a loop, right? I mean, you go to college, you get the degree, you have everything lined up, and you feel like your future is about to start, and then everything comes crumbling down, right? And unfortunately, the new job market that I was going into was incredibly different from the job market my senior year of college, which was just last year, which is such a crazy thing to think about. So I felt like I was floundering. I was sending out so many applications, and I couldn't even get a company to call me back, right? I had used all the tricks that I had heard about before, sending follow-up emails, trying to get in contact with the hiring manager, you know, everything that I was always told, well, here's how you get a job. And nothing. I was losing jobs to people with 10 years experience, and they were entry-level positions. I can't compete with that, or at least I thought I couldn't compete with that. And I found Chellie, and I was able to learn some really amazing ways to make my application and my presence more compelling, right? Because when you're going in for an interview, you're not trying to tell them about everything you've done. You're trying to tell them about what value you can bring to their company. And I think that not getting interviews and not getting people to be interested in me working for them almost made me forget that I had value to add to these organizations, and that's what I should have been focusing on in my interviews. So I was, with Chellie's help, I was able to completely rebrand my LinkedIn. I was able to redo my resume, and I was able to create an online brand that worked for what I wanted to do, right? So it was more than just, here's a good resume. It was also when, not if, but when these hiring managers look you up online, do you look like the person that they want to hire? Chellie helped me pick out my best skills and to highlight those not only on my resume, but in my real life, right? I love talking to people. I love giving a good speech. And so putting that out there and making sure that people see, she talks to people all the time. She's done presentations before. That helped people see the skills that I had in real time, in the real world, not just written on a piece of paper. And after changing those things, I got interviews. And just getting a call back was relief off of my shoulders. And, my goal is always to go into sales. That's why I chose communication as my track in school. Well, after I redid my whole life, basically, I got a call from a company called CDW, which was one of the companies that I had originally wanted to work for when I was going out of college. And I applied for a job, and as of next month, I will be moving to Tampa to start that position. And so I'm so excited. I was able to get a job with my dream company, my dream position. And, I feel like I have branded myself in a way that even though the job hunt is over for me, I still have the ability to make connections with people at work. I've set up better for networking. And if I ever want to switch positions in the future, that is absolutely possible, and I'm already set up for that. So, honestly, Chellie, thank you so much. I feel so prepared to start, my life in the world. And, I learned so many amazing things that companies no longer just care about what you have on paper. They care about who you are as a person, and you have to make sure that what you're putting out there reflects that. And, you know, it's not just about the resume, because they'll probably look you up on LinkedIn before they look at your resume. So thank you for setting me up so that, you know, HR managers actually looked at me more, and I was able to get what I wanted. So thank you, Chellie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Mom, you did great. Chellie, you did awesome.
Yes, I'm going to miss her because she's going to be a few hours away, but I'm so excited to see her finally flying. So it's pretty exciting.
That is awesome. That is wonderful. And congratulations. So it looks like, you know, this has been a success. And thank you, Sandy, for coming on, sharing, and giving this information to all of us. And through Sammy's own words, what a wonderful thing. Chellie, how does that make you feel?
Oh, I mean, when I listened to her video earlier, I said I got choked up. I mean, this is why I do that. You know, she said something in her video about, like, she was beginning to take everything personally, that, you know, her worth was wrapped up into the fact that people weren't calling her or recognizing her skills and everything. And that's really what this program is about, is teaching you how to get other people to see your worth in a way that makes you the candidate they can't walk away from.
I love it. Jan says, I wish I had a book like this when I graduated from college. Yes.
It's the perfect gift for your college graduates coming up, people. Make sure you get a copy for them. It's perfect.
Excellent. It is perfect. It's a great opportunity. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Sandy. And with that, let's go ahead and give away another quick gift. We can do a $25 Amazon gift card. $25 Amazon gift card. So let's see who's out there and mentioning these things, you know, coming through, wanting to be a part of all of this. And we're so excited that the audience is growing and things are really going offward even more. And I love it. Jeannie says, you know, I'm going to be in the job market soon, and her book is going to be super helpful. Well, there you go. There's another one that's going to be putting all of this together. So let's go ahead and make that call for tonight. And the Amazon $25 Amazon gift card goes out to Jan Alexander. Congratulations. This is fantastic. We are so excited that you are here and celebrating all of this with us this evening. Thank you so much, Jan, for being a part of this amazing opportunity. Well, we've got another special guest with a testimonial that is going to be for all you guys out there. All right, let's hear it here for Doug. Doug is in the house.
Hey, everyone. Good to see you.
Okay, Doug. So, Chellie, Doug, what's all this about tonight? I mean, come on. You were talking about, you know, the women and trying to get these jobs. So, like, it goes for everybody?
Yeah, it's not just women that need work. And then it's you know, our guys need some help out there too. You know, like I was talking about earlier, you know, our worth and our value is tied up so much in how we see ourselves with our career and that kind of thing. And so finding that right career, that right spot that you can celebrate your skills, love getting up, go to every day, you know, that makes you the person that when you come home in the evening, everybody loves to be around too. So what's happening at work affects your home life. It affects, you know, everything about you. So setting yourself up for success in that career, you know, like Doug says, you have one shot in one life. And so your career is part of it. And that's what you want to set that piece of it. You want to make it something that really, really is something that you celebrate and you enjoy doing day in and day out.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I just want to say it's an honor to be on tonight. Thank you so much, Chellie and April, for inviting me and entrusting me with your audience. First of all, and I'm so excited for you and your new audiobook coming out. Your book has dramatically impacted our family's life, and that's what I'm here to share about a little bit. So you want me to go ahead and talk about that?
Yeah, have at it.
Okay. Well, at One Shot, what we do is we help people stop worrying and start winning in the areas of money, people, faith, work, health, and their hopes and dreams. And what we do is teach 5 basic principles to help people be successful. One of the areas we help people with is in the area of their work and career. And it's important, like you said, Chellie, that we all have dreams. We all have hopes of what we want to do and what we want to achieve in our life. And for me, I want to see people living out the passions and the gifts that they've been given to impact their world, right? To add value to their world. And so along with that, I'm very picky and critical about who I put in front of my tribe of people. I think it's really important. One of the second principle we teach is once you find a priority you want to achieve, make sure that you have a proven plan to get there. And this is where you come in, Chellie, because you have a proven plan with your book, Get Noticed, Get Hired. Everybody should get it. Go out there, grab a copy, get on Amazon.com, get the audio version. I'm like Sandy, which, what an amazing story, by the way. Her daughter's story just touched my heart because I'll share about my son here in a second. But the audio version is going to be so critical for people to have because of our lifestyle nowadays. But what you have put together, Chellie, is a proven plan. I had a chance, we've met several years ago, and I had a chance to work with you and come to your actual corporate offices and work with your team of people and see you in action. And because of that, and seeing you how you worked so well with your people, and knowing that you had over 20 years of experience in the corporate field and over 15 years of experience mentoring college students for professional careers, when it was my son's time to graduate from college, which was a little over a year ago in 2020, just like with Sandy's daughter, I knew that my son had to get your system. And so we went ahead and got your online course. I have your book, and he set out, you actually worked with him one-on-one as well. And he set out. Now, let me share my son's story a little bit. He was a college baseball player. So in athletics in college, you have very little extra time. I mean, very little extra time. So for us, it was important that when he started to look for his career and started to look for jobs in his career, that he knew the essentials right away, that it was efficient in helping him in the job search process, and whatever he did was effective. And I had seen you be effective with people with a proven plan. So right away, I just sent him your way. And I say, we got the course, and he started implementing that. Now, what was important, like you said, 7 seconds for an employer to get the looks. I understand that. I'm a business owner of 2 multi-million-dollar companies. So I understand the importance of getting people's attention right away. And if you don't get that attention, then you've lost the opportunity, I think, to move forward. And so you helped Dylan right away understand who he was, what he wanted to achieve, the field he was wanting to get involved with. You helped him establish and create a great resume and cover letter that got the attention that he deserved. And then you coached him both in group type interviews and interviews that he was going to be taking place in front of people for the job situation. Now, May of last year, when he graduated, we were right in the middle of the pandemic, right? And so it was hard. But I'm telling you what, you helped him get attention in front of the corporations that he wanted to work for, because he had several interviews, but they were all up front and honest, said, listen, we're not hiring right now, but we want to interview. So when things do open up, we're prepared. And so he went on interview after online, interview after interview after interview. But here's the cool thing. After going through all those interviews, he had a lot of confidence. And and by the way, this book isn't just for somebody who's searching for a job. All right. This is a great book. If you currently are in a career and you want to expand that career, I would highly recommend that you get it. Okay. Chapter number 13, it's who you know. This is where it came into play for us, because right in the middle of the pandemic, we were fortunate to sell a house and buy a couple of houses. Our mortgage lender, and Dylan wanted to get into the finance field, was a friend of ours. We found out that he needed people to work for him. They were overloaded. And we're like, hey, what do you think about Dylan? Should we have him send the resume? He's like, absolutely. And within like a week or a week and a half, he was hired in that job. Perfect job, perfect corporation, great bank, great people, absolutely loves it. Now, not only is that a good, happy ending, right, to the story, it goes beyond that, because, and I think this is one of the top chapters you have, chapter number 15. It's not over just because you landed the job. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my son. If you've ever had a collegiate athlete in your home, they're disciplined. They have to be disciplined, right, to be successful, because they have to have work ethic. They have to go to practices. They have to go to trainings. And if they want to be at the top of their game, they've got to work hard. I told my son, and you lay out a lot of awesome principles in this chapter, that if you want to be successful in this job and move up, you got to work your tail off. And you list off several principles here of how to move up in that job once you've landed it. So he started in August of last year of 2020. January of this year, he was already promoted to an area where they want him specifically to be working with a certain group of people. Okay. And it was because he learned these principles. He learned how to talk to his boss and ask, what do you expect of me? How are you going to evaluate me? I encouraged him, highly encouraged him, and he did this a couple of times, to tell his boss where he wanted to move up into the field in his company. What was required of that? What was he going to have to learn? And he told, I remember this like it was yesterday. He told me one time, he said, Dad, I'm the first one to work. I'm the last one to leave because I want to be successful. Now, I attribute a lot of that to the principles that you teach in your book, Chellie. And I want to thank you from a dad's heart, just how appreciative I am, because not only is he living in the life he wants to, he's in a career that he's satisfied with. He knows he's adding value, not only to his company, but to the clients that he works with. And to me as a dad, there's nothing better. I know there's nothing better than that, knowing that you've made a difference in somebody's life. So anyway, if you're listening to this, I highly recommend you get the book. The other thing that really helped Dylan in being efficient was getting your online course, because he was traveling in the fall, obviously fall ball, fall baseball and all that. He had to do a lot of work on the bus and a lot of work in between times. And that online course was a huge help for him as well. So anyway, that's just a little bit about our story. We just want to thank you so much for the impact you've had in our family's life. I could tell you a little bit about my daughter too, but I don't want to go too far here. So
Your daughter has an amazing story as well.
Absolutely.
But I'm tickled that you brought out the networking chapter, because, I think the statistic right now is that 70% of jobs are not even posted. So in order to find out about them, you have to have that solid network in place. And that's where you get your in. That's where you learn about who's really hiring. Because if you just rely on like the mega sites like Monster or Indeed and those kind of places, they all pull from the same sources. So you're going to see the same postings over and over and over. And then they don't do a really great job of cleaning them up. So if someone has applied for it and it's already taken, you may be applying for a job that's not even available anymore because it just hasn't been removed. But if you really work on that connection, and if you start early, like in college, meeting people at church, getting your parents to introduce you to them, part-time jobs, working with your supervisors there and your bosses there. And even on college, your college professors are great ways to make connections, especially in the field that you're working in. And that's something that's not taught. That's something that they just expect you to have the knowledge of how to do. And in today's world where we're so digital, where it's text, it's messaging, that kind of thing, being really effective at networking means having real conversations with people. And that's something that kids don't really get anymore. It's just something adults don't get anymore. I hire, in my corporate work, I hire all kinds of different ages of people and that kind of thing. And I work with them. And it's really amazing to me, people really struggle having conversations because we're so used to IMing or texting or something that's really quick and to the point, and really building those relationships with people is what matters. And so that's a skill, no matter whether you're starting out or whether you're in the career field for years at a time, that's just going to benefit you multiple times over as you move through that career world.
And I think, and the same thing is, as a business owner, when I'm looking for somebody to work for me or to provide a service, I always look for my realm of influence. People already know, or I ask people that I trust, who do you know that could really help me in this area? And that networking part is absolutely vital. And it's important for all of us as adults to not be afraid to ask. I always teach my people, go for the ask. It doesn't hurt. And you just don't know. Like, for instance, with our son's situation, the interesting part about that was we were in the middle of closing for our loan when that conversation came up. And he alluded to us that they were overloaded and they were looking for people. And we were like, hey, do you think Dylan's, background and his desire and the field he wants to get involved with would help you out? And he's like, absolutely, have him send the resume. And that was the foot in the door in the middle of the pandemic when nobody else was hiring. And it wouldn't have come about if it wasn't for the network. And even if you have a job and you want to progress somewhere, at a different company or within your own company, I've been working with another organization where they had people within their organization who wanted to advance and didn't ask or didn't let their higher ups know that they wanted that position until after they were already starting to do a job search for it. And then they finally raised their hand and said, hey, I'm interested in this. And they gave them a shot. So you just have to, there's nothing wrong with making sure you let people know what you want to do, where you want to move, and then asking them, and networking. So I agree with you. It's amazing. Good job.
It's amazing to me how many people, like, especially starting out in a career, that be like, I want to stay off my boss's radar. I don't want to be on their radar. And that's exactly the opposite of what you really need to be doing.
Yes.
You want to be on the radar for the wrong reasons, but you totally want to be on there for the right. So having that conversation and being like, hey, I want to make a career, like, what are my steps I need to take? And starting those conversations early, learning what skills that you need to progress and that kind of thing, and not waiting for that annual evaluation that everybody dreads because you've got 12 months of stuff racked up that nobody remembers what happened in January. You want to make sure that you're still having those conversations, all throughout the year with your boss, so that when it comes time for that annual review, it truly is a review. Like, they're remembering the good things. They're remembering those conversations and those projects that you've brought to them and that kind of thing. And it will make a huge difference in the way that you progress in your career field.
I've had several people, and I work with people one-on-one. I coach people. I help them get to the next level where they want to go. And there are several people that they will complain about the position that they're in. But my question to them is always like, where do you want to go? Where do you want to progress? And have you talked to your people that you work with and letting them know that? I'm telling you, get this book. If you're already in a career, get the book and go to chapter 15. Listen to chapter 15 on the audiobook. I'm telling you, there are principles. Listen, look at this. I highlighted these. These are things that we worked with and I shared with my son. And I actually shared on my online or in my video podcast too, Chellie, that you were on my show. And I highlighted those because they're so impacting. And I highly recommend you get the book. But if you're already in a career, this book can also help you as well. Don't think it's for somebody who doesn't have a job. This book is excellent for somebody who already is in a career path and you want to move to that next level. Chellie provides some great insight, great principles that will help you get there.
Wow, fantastic. I mean, putting all of this together is exactly what Chellie's goal was for this book, to get noticed and to get hired. Her passion is to make sure that she's helping. It's what she does all day, and to help with sorority girls, to help with friends and family here, to help with, when we've met new people and they've got kids that are at this age, of that high school age, getting ready to go into college. I mean, what a prime time. And like Sandy said, graduation's coming. These things are getting noticed. The springtime is a huge place for hires, especially in the education world, in so many different fields. Springtime is that time where things start to kind of change, shake, rattle, and roll. So this is a perfect time. So anyone out there, this audiobook is the opportunity for you. We'll be dropping down some more of those links. And just thank you, Chellie. Thank you, Doug, for sharing these stories. It's been fantastic. What a phenomenal night. Awesome. Okay, Miss Chellie, where are we going to go from here? Are we ready to do a prize? Are we ready to wrap it up? What is something that you would like to talk to your audience about tonight?
I just want to hit on one other thing before we actually get to the last prize, which involves the membership that we've created and everything. But, especially right now with the pandemic and with the things that are happening in the world. And like Doug said, this book isn't just for the first-time job seeker. It's for those that are out there trying to reposition themselves. And that's what we're seeing happening now, because so many companies are changing how they work. Some jobs are not available anymore, and people are looking at making a pivot and changing what they're doing and looking for new ways to fulfill their career needs. And so this book will walk you step by step through that. And that's really where the membership came from. I had 3 or 4 online courses that dealt with different pieces of the job search, like building a resume, interviewing, building your brand, that kind of thing. And what we realized was that people need a little bit of it all. Depending on where they're at and what they're doing, they need a little bit of this information at all the different stages of their careers. So we've created the Career Accelerator now, and that's what we're giving away tonight. So inside that, you're going to find resume help, interview help, LinkedIn profile building. You're going to learn how to have conversations with your boss and your supervisor and become that person that gets noticed for the right reasons. So this program is designed for someone who is starting out or that's already in a career field that maybe wants to position themselves for that next promotion that's available, or maybe they've experienced a job loss and a layoff right now. So how do you talk about a layoff when you go for an interview? How do you talk about gaps in employment? There's all kinds of this information that's in there. We wanted it to be a one-stop shop now. Everything that you need for your career development is in one place, and it's called the Career Accelerator.
Wow, fantastic. And like you saw there, the Career Accelerator has got all of these great benefits for you. And this is going to be fantastic. It looks like we're giving away 1 month free membership. And anyone out there that needs the support and the help with this is going to be fantastic. That whole concept about wanting to, have all pieces of it, because you're right. There are places, just within, like, I was looking at the things that I had put together when I got my new job about 5-6 years ago. And I look at it now and I'm like, ooh, okay, yeah, it looks like we're going to need to freshen up that part. The skill part, the interview part, we've got that. But this, I'm going to need a little bit more of. And, having an opportunity where I can ask some of these questions and maybe get an eye passed over it to say, this, and this are keepers, this. Let's spruce it up a bit. That, Chellie, I know your eye is on it, and it is something that is just something amazing to have going throughout all of this together. So, Chellie, the question that you always ask is, are you ready to get noticed? Are you ready to get noticed? Are you ready to get noticed and hired? And so who is ready? Who's ready out there to get this award tonight for a 1 month free membership of the Career Accelerator? Who is ready? Let's go down. Let's put it in. See who is on there. Okay. Looking. Okay, wonderful. Linda Larson Schlitz. Linda Larson Schlitz. You are the winner of the 1 month free Career Accelerator. I mean, this is going to be fantastic. She has been part of the counseling groups for a long time and is just making a shift into doing the online medicines and things like that. And so tightening things up for herself and for the people who she's, communicating with is going to be awesome and fantastic. So congratulations. Way to go. Thank you, Linda. That is awesome. That is amazing. So Chellie, thank you for being, goodness, so generous. And this evening has been just filled with great people. Let's bring back some of these amazing people who've been here and given such great support. Let's hold those books up. This audiobook is ready for you guys. Look. I don't want to be left out, but this is fantastic. And you have the testimonials from these moms, these dads, about how it helped their kids at the right age. And Chellie, you did the exact correct thing, bringing them on here tonight and making this connection and communication with your audience, with your group. And I can't wait to see how this is going to get out there and share even more and just really blow things up. So Chellie, what is the last thing you want to leave us with this evening before we shut her down?
First of all, I can't thank y'all all enough for being here and being part of this with me. Y'all made it that much more fun and that much more special by being a part of it with me because, I care about y'all. I care about your family now. I'm attached to them after coaching with them and different things like that. And so I really appreciate you taking your time and doing that. But the thing that I really hope people take away is that learning to communicate your worth, and not just in the job field, but in any kind of situation, is vital. So if you can learn to communicate your worth, what you bring to the table, whether it's in a personal relationship or whether it's in a career type relationship, you're going to be so much better off. And learning to be vocal about it and learning how not to be afraid of talking about your skills and your values. I mean, we're brought up, you're not supposed to talk about yourself. You're not supposed to brag about yourself and that kind of thing. But you can do it in a way that's not grandiose, but is really about showcasing your skills and your ability. And that's really what it takes this day to get noticed and get hired.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Chellie. Get out there, Amazon, Audible. We've got the audio thing for all for everyone tonight. It's up live. It's ready for you to go. Let's see how many are hitting that button and bringing this in. I know I'm excited to get this download because in my commute, oh yeah, I'm ready to listen to this. So I've got kids in the same age group. I've got 22, 21, 20. We've got kids that want to move up from, just stuffing the boxes at UPS to becoming the UPS driver. And yeah, it's his goal. And I'm like, okay, honey, let's get some of these things rolling for you. And so I've taken a few notes tonight to say, you got to start dropping those hints out there to that supervisor. You need to be, motivating things around. And I know he's about a year away from that as far as you have to be 21, but really, okay, chapter 15, I am going to go right to that part and get it going. My other son, he just picked up his second job and he's like, Mom, I think I know what I want to do now. And I'm like, okay, let's get things ready for it. So, things are really coming along. And number 4, so 9 kids here, right? So number 4 announces to me today, hey mom, I just applied to be a hostess at a local restaurant. And I'm like, well, there you go. She's like, I want to jump in. I want to do it. And then she squeals, I have an interview in 2 days. I was like, okay, you are ready. See, look, she's hitting it. Chellie, your inspiration in so many ways has been awesome because I've been talking to my kids and it's rubbing off. I mean, if my 17-year-old can be like, all right, get a job. I'm going to go out. I'm going to try this. She put together a resume. She did a lot of things on her own and, we'll see what happens. And if it doesn't happen, I know the great source to get that sucker going a little bit more. So this is fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We're going to sign off. Thank you again, Chellie. Get out there and get noticed, get hired. Bye, y'all.
Bye.